It always begins at night. Not during the chaos of daylight, but late, when the house finally settles into silence, when the only sound is the soft mechanical hum of your refrigerator somewhere in the dark, keeping time like a heart that never rests. You're sitting there with nothing but your thoughts, staring at a wall you've looked at 1,000 times but never really seen. And then it arrives. A simple question. Innocent at first, almost playful. How far back can I remember? You whisper your grandfather's name. Just a test. Just curiosity. And something extraordinary happens. His laugh echoes in your memory, so clear it's as if he's standing right behind you. The smell of his pipe tobacco drifts through decades. You feel his rough hand wrapped around yours, walking through tall grass when you were 6 years old, and the world felt safe because he was there. The warmth returns, the safety, the feeling that you belong to something bigger than yourself. Then your great-grandmother, the photograph you keep in a drawer, black and white, serious eyes staring from another century. The apple pie recipe she took to her grave because no one could ever make it taste exactly like hers. You smile in the darkness. You remember them. They're still here, still alive inside you. Emboldened, you push further back. Great-great-grandfather, a soldier in some war. But which war? The details blur. A woman who crossed an ocean. But which ocean? Why did she leave everything behind? You squeeze your eyes shut, digging through the archives of your mind like someone frantic in an attic filled with crumbling boxes. And then it happens. The images dim. The names weaken. Like photographs left too long in relentless sun, they begin bleaching away. You find one. Eliza. Your great-great-grandmother. You can almost see her wooden rocking chair on a porch somewhere in the distant past. You reach for her, but your hand closes on nothing. The name vanishes, dissolved, erased as if by some spectral hand reaching from the darkness. You scramble. You claw through your memory, but one by one, they disappear. Grandfather's father, gone. The woman in the photograph, slipping through your fingers like water, like smoke, like sand in an hourglass that has finally run dry. Your heart slams against your ribs. Cold sweat trickles down your spine. The room feels smaller now, the darkness thicker, the silence heavier. This is no longer a game. This is a race against something more absolute than any predator that ever walked the earth. This is oblivion. This is the final death, the one that comes not when the heart stops beating, but when the last voice stops speaking the last name. You are standing on a cliff edge in the dark, and behind you, the ground is crumbling away. Each lost name falls into an abyss from which nothing returns. And then the thought strikes, not creeping slowly, but striking like lightning, like a fist through your chest, like a knife between the ribs. What if I'm the one who forgets them all? The question hangs in the silent air, more chilling than any ghost story, more terrifying than any nightmare. Because this is real. This is now. This is you. It's not just about forgetting names. It's about extinguishing their very existence. If they live only in memory, and that memory dies with you, then the entire chain stretching back through centuries of struggle and love and loss is severed forever. Every sacrifice they made, gone. Every tear they shed, evaporated. Every prayer they whispered, unanswered for eternity. All of it culminating in a void, in you. The weight presses down on your chest, makes breathing almost impossible. In this moment of profound suspense, you understand the terrifying fragility of your own story. It's not just your life. It is the lifeboat for every soul who came before you, and you are terrified the chain ends here. But here's what you don't know yet. Here's what's about to find you in the darkness. You are not alone in this room. Something else is here. Something that's been waiting for this exact moment. Something about to speak. Do you feel it? That presence behind you? That weight in the air? That sense that someone just breathed? Don't turn around. Not yet. Just breathe. And ask yourself, if the names are fading now while you're still alive to fight for them, what happens when you're gone? Who will whisper their names then? Who will carry them forward? Who will save them from that second death? This fear gripping your chest is not new. It is not unique to you. It is as ancient as humanity itself, buried in the DNA of every person who ever wondered where they came from. To understand how to fight this oblivion, we must travel far from your bedroom, across the vast Pacific Ocean to the land of Aotearoa, New Zealand, where mist-shrouded mountains pierce clouds and waters thunder against ancient shores. Here, among the Maori people, exists a concept so powerful it can anchor a soul against the tides of forgetting. A single word that holds the weight of thousands of years. Whakapapa. To the Western mind, it is inadequately translated as genealogy, a family tree. But this is like calling the ocean wet. Technically true, but utterly meaningless. It misses the depth, the power, the terrifying beauty of the thing itself. Whakapapa is not a static family tree gathering dust in some archive. Whakapapa is a living, breathing entity, the very fabric of existence, the thread that weaves all things together. Imagine a tapestry so immense it contains everything that has ever existed. Every person who ever lived is a single crucial stitch. Every rock, every river, every star, every creature. If one stitch is pulled, the entire image begins to fray. The word itself reveals its meaning. Whaka means to build or layer. Papa refers to Papatuanuku, the Earth Mother herself, the foundational bedrock upon which all life rests. Whakapapa is the act of layering upon the world's foundation, each generation placed deliberately upon the last, like the stratified layers of earth beneath your feet, layers of soil and ancient bones holding millennia of stories. You are not just standing on ground, you are standing on the lives of everyone who came before you. Your ancestors are the very earth supporting you. 700 years ago, this was not abstract philosophy. This was survival. Around 1300 AD, Polynesian voyagers accomplished the impossible. They carved massive canoes from towering trees using stone tools. They loaded these vessels with their families, their provisions, their hopes, and they sailed into the endless blue of the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific is 63 million square miles of rolling, terrifying blue. No landmarks, no roads, no maps, no rescue, just water, sky, and stars. Those navigators didn't have GPS or compasses. They had memory. They had story. They had Whakapapa. These weren't just boats. They were floating arcs of identity. Guided by wheeling stars their ancestors had named, by ocean swells they alone could read, by an unshakable courage still beating in descendants' hearts today, they journeyed into the absolute unknown. Imagine the terror. Imagine the hope. Imagine staring at endless ocean with your children beside you, knowing that if the stars mislead, if storms rise, you will never see land again. Your bones will rest at the bottom of the sea. Your name will be whispered by waves and no one else. What did they carry in those cramped vessels? Yes, they carried tools and provisions, but more importantly, they carried the invisible cargo that truly matters. They carried names, thousands of names, generations of names. They carried stories tying each person not just to family, but to specific mountains, particular rivers, sacred forests, patches of sky where certain stars gathered. Your mountain was your anchor. Your river was your lifeblood. Your ancestors were the stars guiding you home. To lose Whakapapa was to be cut adrift from everything. Without it, a person doesn't just lose relatives. They become untethered from reality itself. Roots violently ripped from soil leave wounds that never heal. Identity shatters into pieces that can never be reassembled. Think back to that silent room, that desperate struggle in the dark, that gap swallowing memory. It is a tear in sacred fabric, a wound in the tapestry of existence. My own chest tightened the night I traced my line. I started strong, whispering grandparents' names, then their parents, faces in fading photos. One by one, I built shaky scaffolding of my past. Then suddenly, silence. A void. A place where a great-grandmother's story should have lived. A memory of a memory, swallowed whole by time. It was physical, this loss, like something cut out of me. Because the terrifying truth is this: if names vanish, ancestors vanish with them. They vanish again. Not just names on lists, but warriors who felt bones crack and kept fighting. Mothers who held children close against storms. Visionary voyagers who stared at endless ocean and trusted stars. If I forget them, who am I? Am I just a singular point of consciousness, born from nothing, hurtling toward nothing? That gap in memory is not empty space. It is an echo of their potential second death, the death that comes when the last person who remembers stops remembering. In that moment of suspense, facing that chasm of silence, the weight of their existence pressed down on me. Terrifying responsibility. Sole guardian of priceless treasure, realizing you've lost the key. But then, something happened. Something unexpected. Something that made the hair on my arm stand. In the silence, in the void, in the space where her name should have been, I heard a whisper, faint at first, like wind through distant trees, then clearer, then unmistakable. And what it said made me understand that the chain doesn't just connect us to the past. It connects us to something far more terrifying. Something listening right now. Something that knows your name. Did you hear it? That whisper just now? Maybe wind. Maybe imagination. Maybe something else. Something waiting for you to pay attention. Something about to reveal itself. The voyagers knew names have power. They knew stories are alive. They knew the dead are not gone. They're just on the other side of a veil so thin that sometimes, in dark nights when you're alone, you can almost see through. The question is, what's on the other side? And more importantly, what's trying to get through? The truth behind you. But in that crushing silence, staring into the abyss of forgotten generations, I realized something that fundamentally shifted my understanding of everything. A realization transforming terror into profound purpose. Whakapapa was never meant to survive through fragile human memory alone. That's too risky. Too dependent on brains that forget, hearts that fail, lives that end. We are not just librarians of the past, tasked with remembering dusty name catalogs until we die. That's not the way. That never was the way. Whakapapa survives through you. This is the core of its power, the secret the voyagers carried across oceans. It doesn't just live in your mind, it lives in your bones, in your blood, in your very being. It lives in your courage facing the impossible, when mountains loom too high and every voice screams, "Turn back." Think of voyagers staring at endless horizon. That courage is in you right now. It lives in your resilience when life knocks you down, and you somehow find strength to rise again. Think of mothers protecting children through every hardship. That resilience flows through your veins. It lives in quiet strength you carry without knowing its origin. A gift from 1,000 ancestors who refused to break so you would never have to. Every time you've kept going when giving up would have been easier, that was them. Think about this for a moment. You have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents. Keep going. By just 12 generations back, you have over 4,000 ancestors. 4,000 people who survived long enough to pass life forward. Each faced something difficult, a storm that should have killed them, a war that consumed everyone around them, a famine that turned fields to dust. And every one of those lives led to a single moment in history, your birth. You are not an isolated individual floating alone in an indifferent universe. You are the continuation of thousands of human stories. Their courage runs through your blood. Their resilience is built into your bones. Their survival is why you exist at all. So the chain doesn't survive because you remember every name. That's impossible. The chain survives because you are the next link. Your life is proof they lived. Your existence is their legacy. Turn around now. In your mind's eye, turn and look behind you. Close your eyes if you need to. Turn around. Behind you right now, stretching back into mist that glows with their presence, stand thousands of your ancestors. They are not ghosts, not frightening. They are presence. They are witness. They are love. Feel the press of them, a great, silent, loving multitude. Survivors of famines who watched their children starve and kept going anyway. Dreamers hoping for children they would never meet. Warriors refusing to bow to powers that tried to crush them. They endured unimaginable things. Cold seeping into bones, hunger twisting stomachs, loss shattering hearts. All so that one day, the line could continue. All so that one day, you could exist. Every step they took was a step toward you. Every sacrifice, every tear shed in darkness was a brick on the path leading to your birth. You are not the end of their story, not the final fading chapter. You are the continuation. The next verse in a song sung for 1,000 years. When you smile, it is their joy finally finding expression. When you weep their tears they couldn't shed. When you stand for what's right, you channel every ancestor who ever refused to bow. So look again at that gap in memory, that swallowed name. The suspense transforms into mission. No longer terror, but invitation. Your quest to fill. Your story is not separate from theirs. It is the newest, most vibrant layer of their story. Your life is proof they lived. Your resilience is their legacy. The question that once chilled you to the bone transforms into powerful declaration. I will live so they are remembered. And here's what changes everything. They know. They see. They're watching right now. And they're not just watching. They're waiting. Waiting for you to realize what you are. Waiting for you to speak their names so they can live again. When you finally open your mouth and let the names fall out, when you whisper them into the darkness, something extraordinary happens. The veil thins. The distance collapses. The dead and living become one. Past and present touch. You become ancestor of ancestors, yet unborn. Bridge between what was and what will be. You become Whakapapa itself. If this journey stirred something in you, if your chest tightened when the names began to fall, if you felt something move in the darkness beside you, you are already part of the story. The chain does not end with you. In that moment of silence, you felt them, didn't you? Their presence, their waiting, their love, their hope that you would understand. Now they wait for your response. The question is not, what ancestor's name will you carry forward? The question is far more urgent. What are you going to do about it right now? Because they're not just in the past. They're here, in this room, with you, standing behind you, watching through your eyes, breathing with your lungs, and they're listening. The name you almost forgot tonight. The one slipping through fingers like water. The one making your heart race. Say it, right now, out loud. Whisper if you must, but say it. Give it voice, give it life, give it breath. Because when you do, something shifts. Something breaks open. Something begins to heal. The wound in the tapestry starts to mend. The chain strengthens. And the chain you thought was ending? It starts again. Through you. Always through you. If this story changed something inside you, if you felt the presence of your ancestors as you watched, if you're ready to carry their names forward, subscribe now and turn on notifications. More stories like this are coming. Stories that will wake something in you that has been sleeping for too long. But before the next video, I need you to do something. Write one name in the comments. Just one. The name of an ancestor whose story must never be forgotten. Let the world see it. Let the ancestors know you remember. Let the chain continue. Because in the next video, we go deeper. Into the darkness where forgotten ones wait. Into the silence where unspoken names echo. And we bring them back into the light together. The dead are listening right now. They have messages for you. Messages that will change everything. What ancestor's name will you carry forward so the world never forgets? Write it now. They're waiting.